There are some things that can't be viewed through the typical prism of politics. They're bigger and more important. They signal who we actually are. They're not red or blue issues, not Republican or Democrat. It's about darkness versus light, good versus evil. Memorial Day weekend is not a long weekend, as Kamala Harris posted here in her first Memorial Day weekend as vice president, with a photo of her grinning and glaring with her pearl necklace on. Enjoy the long weekend. Kamala Harris will never be president because of posts like that. And President Trump became president again in spite of, well, everything. They even tried to blow the guy's head off because of moments like this. President Trump's first Memorial Day weekend. See if you can spot the difference with this young man dressed as his fallen Marine father there at his gravestone in Arlington National Cemetery. Don't pay any attention to Trader Mike Pence being also in the shot. Nonetheless, Donald Trump celebrating and memorializing this young man's father's sacrifice for our nation is actually what it's all about. And again, not political, but this right here is what the job of a president actually is. And everybody should celebrate that when a president, a commander-in-chief, whether you like him or not, is honoring the troops, honoring our soldiers, honoring our service members. Donald Trump just particularly good at this. Trump just has this flair about him. He never saw anything like this with Joe Biden. Obviously, you saw Joe Biden look at his watch when young men died in the service of our country, or worse, because of the incompetence of his administration. But here's President Trump today, arriving at that same Arlington National Cemetery, as he ought right to do, because it is Memorial Day, when we honor those who have given their lives for this nation. President Trump arrived at the cemetery to lay wreath at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldiers. Nick Sotor had the footage. What he also had is footage of the left-wingers that were protesting that arrival. There were throngs of liberal orcs and eunuchs standing aside the road to shriek and scream in the freezing cold rain in Washington, D.C., at the commander-in-chief arriving to simply say, we're sorry that your sons and daughters died in war protecting our country. If you can't agree that this is a good thing for a commander-in-chief to do, we can't agree on anything. This is, of course, also just seconds after President Trump, a madman, went and shot up the White House. That happened 24 hours ago. But here, ladies and gentlemen, you can hear and see the shrieks from the liberal protesters. Here they are. Look at these. No clowns. No arch. President my ass. Look at this. Look at this. Theonomy doesn't lie. Look at this. Oh, yes. I really do wonder, what would the country be like without mentally ill, menopausal white women? Honor the fallen, not the felon. Got it? Holy moly. How humiliating. So they went and protested and screamed at Trump and J.D. Vance as they arrived. Here we go. The sirens were blared by the Secret Service in order to drown out the protesters. But you can see here in the clip, the protesters standing beside the road, waving flags and shrieking as you can hear some of the FUs and things that I won't repeat. You can see them standing there at the entrance of the world's largest military cemetery with Drumpf signs. So the shrieks of the protesters drown out by the Secret Service here. So you know what those sirens sound like. But you can still hear them screaming. And you can see them in the shots holding up signs and yelling obscenities and profanities at your commander-in-chief and his vice president as they arrive to honor the military and those who gave the last full measure of devotion. What does that say? That says that you can't share a country with these people. If you can't agree on this, and listen, the major gripe that I have is that, of course, when Joe Biden tried to honor the fallen, he insulted them, actually. Right? But I would never stand there and protest Joe Biden on his way to go to a dignified transfer or to a military burial. What a goblin-esque, sick thing to see. Leftists tried protesting and screeching at the presidential motorcade to honor fallen troops. Is as evil as it gets. We mean it when we say the left hates America. Imagine protesting a cemetery in Arlington. Deranged leftists. Pathetic. Here they are, of course, we showed you. A group protesting Trump's arch. Trump has this kick-ass arch that he wants to put, and here are the libs protesting it. How many of these libs are under the age of 80? 70. How many of them are on Social Security? I mean, it's like the level of brain rot that you have to protest inside of a national cemetery. The Democrats always ruin everything. They can't even take time to honor our heroes. Evil demons keep screeching. It's all they know how to do. Soon to find out, the left needs to move out of America so they don't act like they hate America so much. These people have no life whatsoever. The left needs to move out of America since they don't like America. Yeah, okay, there you go. Secret Service siren really said not today to those screams. That's exactly right. Leftists protesting are honoring of veterans lost in combat. No shame, none at all. President Trump, all business today, heading to Arlington National Cemetery. A beautiful conversation that he had. I wonder who is he walking? Who's he walking left here? I can't see. But here's President Trump and Pete Hegseth and J.D. Vance walking into this honored event, laying a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier, honoring our heroes. Taps played. Tulsi Gabbard was there. Various other members of the administration were there. It was a rainy and chilly day in Washington, D.C., but of course, rain or shine is the most important thing that you can do for your nation. President Trump in the act of stopping a war, which is a beautiful action in Iran. 21 gun salute for President Trump's motorcade. Chilling, frankly. Visuals here. And libs protesting it. The libs were screaming their bloody heads off, protesting. Again, we think it's beautiful. Tulsi was here. Here's Zeldin and Kash Patel. Here's the Secretary, Veterans Affairs, Doug Burgum. To the brave heroes, thank you from Melania Trump. Beautiful. Beautiful. And J.D. Vance with the quote, "Everything in our lives and our nation, meaning and purpose, was given to us by total strangers who laid down their lives." Donald Trump taking the podium and veterans and families cheering for their commander-in-chief, a man who's brought great dignity and respect back to our military. Ladies and gentlemen, what did President Trump have to say today? I'll leave you with his words from Arlington National Cemetery, not the words of these shrieking leftists. This is what a real commander-in-chief sounds like.
Less than 6 weeks from now, our nation will reach a historic milestone, 250 years of majestic American independence, something. But it's only right that first we remember the immense sacrifice that has been brought to us and this momentous anniversary year That's what it is. It's a momentous year. Before we hail the founding, we honor the fallen. Before we celebrate the triumph, we pay the tribute. Before we crown the victory, we count the cost. Today we are reminded that there could be no 4th of July without America's armed forces, and there could be no Independence Day without Memorial Day. We owe our liberty, our self-government, the glories of our history, and our very nation itself to the generations who paid for it with everything they had, the ultimate sacrifice.